So good morning, Kal Kadosh. Basically, today's daf is daf Nuntet 59, A1. We're just going to start from Nunchet Bet to just understand, to get into the flow. So basically what happened was that Rabbah came and he said that the two different parts of the scissors, right, are considered chibur tum'ah, are considered connected with the concept of tum'ah, even shlo b'shat melacha. This is only if they're connected. But if they're not connected, since the entire tum'ah of the gzirah was in order that people shouldn't make a mistake, whether it was during the time of melacha or not during the time of melacha, barur, so then it's obvious, shelo gazru ela b'shat shemechubarim. So they only made a decree during the time when it's mechubar, when it's connected, because only then people can make a mistake. So it comes out, that the explanation, the word chipur, which is written here, means that it's connected 100% right now. And that's what makes it into one utensil. So since the Braita is taught on the Mishnah, and it's teaching us, right, that the pa'amon and the imbel, which is the pa'amon, the bell, and the clapper, right, is considered a chibur. So we learn from here, right, that also there the kavanah is only when it's actually connected. But if they separated, I mean, it's the imbel, the clapper is not inside of it, so then it's going to be batel from the kli. So therefore it comes out that even if a hediot could be able to put it back together, nevertheless, at the time that it's separate, there shouldn't be any problem. So therefore what we're trying to say now is that Abaye's answer was pushed off, right? His entire answer about what we just mentioned now beforehand, and therefore we have the original question. What is the reasoning why the Braita comes and it says that pa'amonim of a tinok, and they took away the imbel, it took away the clapper, is still going to be tameh? Why should it be tameh? We just learned that if it's going to be without any imbel in the middle, any clapper, so therefore that's it. Even if a hediot, even if a normal simple person could have put it back together, that doesn't bother me. It only bothers me the concept. Do we say that it's tameh or not tameh because it's mechubar or not mechubar? If it's not mechubar, it's not tameh. So El Amar Rava, rather Rava comes and he answers, Hoil v'ra'ui la'kisho al gabe cheres. Since you're able to be makishet ze al gabe cheres, which means since you could come and use it, right, not with a clapper, but with another utensil, which means I could still make the same noise by taking another utensil and hitting it on top of the bell. So even though there's no clapper in the middle, which is the inside part, which is making the bell sound, but it's still going to be a bell. It still has the same milacha as the beginning. And therefore, that's why he's saying that it still has the same tumah from the beginning as well. Okay? So this is where we're starting for today. Itmar Nami was also stated. Amar Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Chanina, says Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Chanina, Hoi v'rahui lakish, right, lakisho gabe cheres. He says, no, you could still hit it on a piece of cheres. And the fact that you could still hit it on a piece of cheres, it's going to be, and you could still make the original sound. So therefore, that's what he's saying. It's still going to be tameh. Rabbi Yochanan Amar. Rabbi Yochanan comes and he says another reason. He says, no, this bell, turn it upside down. If I turn a bell upside down, I could use it like a cup. So therefore, what I do is I pick up, right? Obviously, it's a small bell though, so it's not a big cup. So what do? I could take water and I could give it to a child with this bell. So the fact that it's still fitting as a utensil, right, or a drinking utensil over here, so therefore that's why it's still mekabel tumah. Okay? Not because it could still do the original work, which that was the previous answer, but rather because I could still do something with it. Okay? So says the Gemara, and the Gemara is now going to ask, Rabbi Yochanan lo ba'em me'en melacha rishona? He says, one second. Rabbi Yochanan doesn't require that you still have to do like the first melacha, which means before it was a bell. Now it's a cup. Can you compare a bell and a cup? It's two completely different things. I thought we said that in Shitat Rabbi Yochanan, you also need that it should still be able to do like the original melacha. The original melacha means like the original work. So if the original work was a bell, I cannot now, not just because I could use it as a cup, now it's not going to be mekabel tumah, right? It is going to be mekabel tumah. It should still be able to do the me'en melacha rishona. And if it cannot do like the original work, like the original purpose for the utensil, so then it's not going to help us. Tanya, we learned in the Braita, right? In any utensil which he's going to sit down on it, we're talking about the zav, okay? So if the zav is going to come and he's tameh, so any utensil, right? Any utensil that you're going to sit down on is going to become tameh. So it says the Gemara, Yachol, I would have thought to say, Kafa se'ah v'yashav alea. Imagine right now, you were kofeh a se'ah, and you sat down on the se'ah, or kafa tirkav, which is a chetzi se'ah, yashav alea. So this is the case. Kafa, this is the, right? You have the tirkav and the se'ah, and you sat down on it. So basically, it's like a type of a utensil which carries the se'ah or carries the tirkav, which is half of a se'ah. It's basically like let's say a basket, but you know that if you have this basket full, it has a se'ah which is a measurement of whatever it is inside, whether it's going to be fruits, vegetables. So you took this basket, you overturned it, and you sat down on it. So kafa se'ah v'yashav alea, or kafa tirkav v'yashav alea. Okay. So now this was actually used for grains, right? In order to measure the grains. So it says over here, yeh tameh. I would have thought that the yeshiva on this would make it tameh, right? Why? Because at the end of the day, right, even if it's not going to be fitting, meaning it's not made to sit down on it, but if you did sit down, it's going to be tameh. Talmud Omar comes to teach you, asher yeshiv alav azav itma. Mish yuchal yeshiva. Only if it's going to be miyushav for yeshiva. But this comes to exclude these baskets that they're going to tell you, get up and let's do our work now. Which means the fact that in a few minutes they could tell you, listen, get yourself up so that way we could come and we could, do our work and start filling it up with grain, so that it's not going to be tameh. So this concept is teaching us that it has to be for the same melacha. Okay? So says the Gemara, so we're going to now go into it because this is now, again, we're trying to go back to find out in Shitat Rabbi Yochanan if it's already enough, the fact that I could come and take this bell, turn it around, and use it as a cup. So now the Gemara is going to say as follows. Bilazar comes and he says, B'midrasot omrim amod v'na'aseh melachtenu, which means only to do with tumat midras, which is the tumah of sitting down or lying down on something, do we say the concept, right, that if it's not going to be like the original melacha, it's not good, because we're going to say, get up and let's do our actions, let's do our work. But we do not say that by any other type of tamimet or other types of tumot, get up and let's do our work, which means a utensil which became tamimet or any other type of a tum'ah, and it breaks. It does not become tahor, right, until it breaks, that it's not fitting for any melacha. Okay, to do with tumat mishkav u'moshav, right, that means tumat midras, there you're right. The second that it's not fitting for sitting down on it or lying down on it, because you're going to get them, get up, we have to start working on this. So then that's another halacha. Okay? So it says Rabbi Yochanan Amar, and Rabbi Yochanan says, Af omer b'tamemet amod v'na'aseh melachtenu. Rabbi Yochanan argues and he says, even by tamemet or other tumot, we still say, right, that I get up and do your work, which means that if it's not fitting for the original, there's no tumah anymore. So therefore, this is a stiran Rabbi Yochanan, which means Rabbi Yochanan, not one page before, right? It's basically the beginning of the Amud said, right? Rabbi Yochanan says, the fact that you took this bell and you're able to turn it upside down, right? And you could take water and give to drink to a child. So therefore, what's going to happen? It's not going to be broken to do with tum'ah, and therefore it's still nikabel tum'ah. Here the Gemara asks, Rabbi Yochanan lo ba'eh me'em melacha rishona. Rabbi Yochanan doesn't need the original melacha to be done. So he says here, that's the question. The question is here, it says mefurash, af omer betmemet. Rabbi Yochanan says, even in betmemet, amod v'na'aseh melachtenu, which means the fact that you could get up and do your melacha, so if it's not fitting for any type of melacha, paka tumato. So then there's a stira, right? It has to be the same thing. So says the Gemara, epuch kamaita. You're right. What do we have to do? The first part of the braita, you have to turn it around, which means when it said in the first braita to do with that, you took out the imbal, you took out the clapper, it's still tameh. And we said it was Rabbi Yochanan was the one that said it was still tameh because you could turn it around. Right? Or how roi la kishol becheres, that was Rabbi Yochanan. And the second one, which said that you could turn it upside down and drink from it, that was Rabbi Yosef Bar Chanina. Which means when we go back to the original Gemara, and it said Itmar Nami, was also stated Amar Rabbi Yosef Bar Chanina, since you could still hit it where with the Kli Cheres. And then the second answer was Rabbi Yochanan says, that you could turn it upside down and use it as a cup for a child, that you have to switch it around. Rabbi Yochanan was the one that said the first one, which said, but you could hit it with the Kli Cheres, so then it's still fitting for the original melacha. And the second one, that you could turn it upside down and use it as a cup for a child, was Rabbi Yosef Bar Chanina. Now, according to this, now everything makes sense. It's beautiful. According to Rabbi Yochanan, you still need me'em melacha rishona. You still need that you would still be able to use it like the first melacha. Okay? So ask the Gemara, Umay chazita pacht kamaita, epuch ba'traita. Why did you switch the first braita? Why don't you switch the second braita? Maybe the first braita was correct. And according to Rabbi Yochanan, even if you turn it upside down and you drink from it, it's still gonna be mekabel tumah because it's still fitting for some type of usage. And the second braita where Rabbi Yochanan said no, that it has to be that it's still fitting for the same usage, the same utensils usage. Switch that one. Switch the batraita, not the first one. So says the Gemara, the fact that we also heard in another place that also Rabbi Yochanan held that we needed the me'em melacha rishona, so therefore we preferred to switch the first braita, which that was a stida against him, and to switch the second one was in accordance to what be'emet we know that he holds. We always had shmuot saying, but Rabbi Yochanan says that you need to have the same melacha done, meaning it has to be fitting to do the same melacha. So ever since we always heard it, and now we have two different braitas, there's a stira in the braitas, we prefer to keep the one that we always heard. So we always heard that that's what he holds, that you have to have the same original melacha. So therefore, that's why we prefer to keep that one, and we change the first one, which is contradicting to his normal routine or normal things that he says. Right? Why? Because we are going to bring a Mishnah, which also, again, Rabbi Yochanan says the same Yisod. The Tanam is we learned in a Mishnah in Kelim, sandal shel behema shel metechet. When you have a sandal of an animal, which is made out of metechet. Okay? Now it says here, right? So this is it's like a shoe for an animal. Okay? But usually they put it on top of the horses, like the shoe hooves, right? When they're going out in order that it doesn't get, hit by stones. So it's like a protection, right? And that's what they put on the horses. So it says over here, it's tameh. It's fitting to be mekabel tumah. Okay? So ask the Gemara, lemay chazu. What is it fitting for? Right? There's a tashmish shel adam zaroi. Well, what can a human being use it? Right? Well, if it only uses for the animal's feet, so it's not a kli to be mekabel tumah. So Rav says, right? Since it's made for two purposes. It's made for the feet of the animals, right? And also it's made to drink, right? Bishata dachak. Right? It is for the owner, right? And therefore, he says it's considered mekabel tumah because it is also fitting for a human being. Chanina says, during the time of war, you could use it, asuk bo shemen, to put oil on yourself. Okay? So therefore, again, since at the beginning it's made for two different reasons, for the animal plus human being, so therefore it's mekabel tumah. Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Rabbi Yochanan comes and says, and this is what we want. Rabbi Yochanan comes and says, B'shar sheboreach min hakrav, manicho beraglav veratz, al kotzin vel barkanim. He says, no. He says when there's war, and now you have to run away from the battlefield. you put these shoes on yourself, and that's going to help you to run on top of thorns and on top of all these types of spikes and everything. And therefore, right, that's why it's going to be mekabel tuma, which means, again, as we already mentioned before, it has to have the same melacha rishona. It has to have the same, almost the same, again, all like comparable, like similar to the same melacha at the beginning. At the beginning, this was used as a melacha for the horses, because they used to put it on the feet of the horses. The four horses would protect their feet from getting hurt. Same thing now. You put it on your feet, you're running away from the battlefield, and now it's going to protect you. So that's what the Gemara is actually coming and trying to say, that according to Shtat Rabbi Yochanan, it was me'en melachto rishona. It has to be like similar to the same melacha rishona. So it is similar to the melacha rishona. According to Rav and Rav Chanina, has nothing to do with it. One is talking about stam, to start drinking water with it. That's obviously not domet, to putting it on your feet to protect your feet. But the other one is to anoint yourself with oil. So therefore, since we already learned that Rabbi Yochanan held that it has to be me'en melacha rishona, we preferred to change the first one, which was contradicting this, and the second one, which is in accordance to this. So ask the Gemara, what's the nafkamina between Rav and Rav Chanina? Whether it was that you're able to use this shuv type of thing, like a shoe for the horses, in order to drink it in the middle of a war, or in order to anoint yourself with oil in the middle of the war. So the difference between them is maus, which means, what happens if it becomes all dirty? So if it becomes all dirty, according to Rav, it's not going to be mekabel tuma anymore. Why? Because you're not going to drink from a dirty shoe. But according to Chanina, it is mekabel tuma. Because since you could still use it to anoint yourself with oil, and you're putting oil inside, then you just anoint yourself with it, so it's still going to be mekabel tuma. So says the Gemara, and what's enough kamina between the reasoning of Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Chanina? Rabbi Chanina said that it's fitting to anoint yourself with oil. And according to Rabbi Yochanan, you put it on your feet and you're able to run away in the battlefield. So answers the Gemara, the difference between them is the akir. In a when it's very, very heavy. So therefore what happens is that if it's a very, very heavy shoe, you can't use it on your feet, right? But you're still fitting, right? But you're still fitting to use it as to anoint yourself for oil. So if it's too heavy, you're not going to put it on your feet, because then you can't run. If you can't run, what's the purpose? Right? The entire purpose was to run, and that you would be able to run on these thorns and all these things, and you don't care, and you're running away, and people behind you are not going to follow suit, obviously. Okay? Okay. So now we're by the two dots. And we said that a woman is not allowed to go with an Ir Shel Zahav, a golden city. I'll show you what that means exactly. That's the Ir Shel Zahav, a golden city. It almost looks like a crown, right? But the crown was made like a city, which is very interesting. Okay? So says the Gemara, Velo be'ir shel zahav, and not with a city of zahav, of golden city. My be'ir shel zahav, what does mean a golden city? Amr Yochanan says Yochanan, Yerushalayim the Dava. It's got the surah of Yerushalayim, the image of Yerushalayim on this city. So that's what it's called, Ir Shel Zahav, a golden city. Now you know where the song Yerushalayim Shel Zahav comes from. Yeah? It's Ir Shel Zahav. That's what it says. Okay? So says the Gemara, Nun Teta Mubet, Kida'avale, right? Rabbi Kiva Lidvitu, just like Rabbi Kiva made for his wife. Which means the Gemara Masechet Nedarim says that when Rabbi Kiva got married to Rachel, the daughter of Kalba Savua, he was still in the Maaretz, right? So the father-in-law, right, he was Kalba Savua, he didn't agree with the marriage, and therefore he took them away from all their properties. He disowned them, as if that, nothing to do with him. So what happened is that they were so poor, they didn't have, not even the karim, so they didn't have pillows to lie down at nighttime, a bed, nothing, they had nothing. Right? So they used to come, they used to use teven, they used to use the grains and the wheats in order to cover themselves. Now it says over here, he used to go in the hair of Rachel, of his wife. So Rabbi Akiva, when he used to come and try to comfort her, he used to tell her that if he had the money, he used to buy her Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, Yerushalayim Dava. Okay? Now, at the end, it doesn't actually say whether Rabbi Akiva did actually give it to her or not. But that's what they're just saying, okay? So it's interesting. But this actually just teaches you, by the way, that even if you don't have the money, you make the promise. Bezrat Hashem, if I had the money, I would get you Anir Shel Zahav, I would get you the entire world. You understand? But that's what it's teaching us Derech Eretz, okay? Fine. Tanu Rabbanan. We learned in the Braita. Lo tetzei isha b'ir shel zahav. A woman should not go out with an ir shel zahav. If she does go out with an ir shel zahav, right, by accident, chayav chatat, she's going to be chayav chatat. These words of me. Right? Why? Because you're not allowed to go out with it, right, on Shabbat. Chachamim say, lo tetzeh, do not go out with it. However, though im yatzta, but if she did go out with it, she's p'tura, right? Why? Because mina Torah, you are allowed to go out with it. Rabbi Eliezer says, Yotzai isha v'ish zahav lechatchila. So look at the extremes. You have Rabbi Meir, that you're not allowed to go out with it, and if you did go out with it, you're chayav chatat. That means a woman has to bring a chatat offering, a sin offering. You have the middle case, which was chachamim, that she shouldn't go out, but if she does go out, she's p'tura, that she's exempt from a chatat, because mina Torah, she's permitted to go with it. And Rabbi Eliezer says, even the chatchila go out with it. What's the problem? So says the Gemara, what is the machloket between these three? Meaning, what's the reasonings? Tell me the logics. One says permitted, one says it's a sur, but if you did it, it's okay. The other one says it's a sur legamre, you have to bring a chatat. And all the extremes, what's going on? So Rabbi Meir holds, masuihu, that it's considered you're caring. And why? Because women do not put this only to show how rich they are. And therefore, mina Torah, it's a sur, because they're caring. It's not like an adornment. It's just to show how rich you are. So you have this beautiful, I don't know how much it costs, but it's not like that you actually wear it as an adornment. Rabbanan Savre, the rabbis hold, tachshitu, it's considered a tachshit. And therefore, any type of an adornment you're allowed to wear in the Reshut Rabim. The rabbi suspected, maybe you're going to take it off, you're going to show it to your friends. It's so beautiful. They're going to say, wow, can I see it? You take it off, you give it to them. You're in the Reshut Rabim. You have a big problem now. That's the problem. And then you're going to take it for a month and shoot Rabim. Rabbi Eliezer says, Man darka lameipak be'ir shel zahav. By which woman, right, is normal to go out with an ir shel zahav? Isha chashuva, a very important woman. Isha chashuva lo meshalfa mechavia. And an isha chashuva does not come and does not take it off to show it to her friends. And therefore, since she's such an important woman, right? She's not going to do such a thing, and therefore it's permitted even the chatchila for her to go out with it. Okay, so those are the three svarot to explain, right, the reasoning between whether it's going to be Rabbi Meir, Chachamim, or Rabbi Eliezer. Okay? Kalila. What about a kalila? So there are two different versions. What is kalila exactly?
So tiara.
It's this one?
Tiara,
yeah, or this one. One or two? Okay, so what's the difference between the two? Okay, it's the same type of thing. It's like the tiara here, the head plate, whatever you want to call it. So it says the difference between the two is one of them is made out of zahav, out of gold, that they call lima, and the second one is from silk with gold.
It's called, one is tiara, one is fascia. The fascia is fabric. They put it just like as a fashion in the front. And
so again, one more time. One is called what?
Fascia. Fascia is like for the face, like to embellishment of the face. That's why.
Okay, the first one, which is made out of gold, is a tiara.
Yeah. Tiara is a crown.
Okay. Tiara is the crown, right? Okay, very good. So the kalila. So Rav says you're not allowed to go with it on Shabbat. And Shmuel says you're allowed to go out with it in on Shabbat. Okay, the aniska, which is a klila, which is made out of a very expensive metal, for example, gold or silver. Everybody holds that it's going to be a sur, right? Everybody holds. Why? Because it's a tachshit chashuv, and we're going to suspect that you're going to take it off to show your friends. So kipligis, so when is a machloket, then on the kalila, diarukta, only if it's made out of meshi, out of the silk, with the gold inside of it, with avadim tovot. More savar, one of them holds aniska ikar. The gold is the ikar, and therefore it's a tachshit chashuv. And we're going to suspect that you're going to take it off in order to show your friends, and you're going to take it for a motor shurabim. Umar Savar, but Shmuel holds Aruk Teikar. The Rig is the Ikar, and it's not a Takshit Chashuv. And therefore, what happens is we're not going to suspect you're going to take it off to show it to your friends. Okay? So basically what's happening now is that we're going to explain, we just explained the Machloket, Rav and Shmuel, about this type of, whether it's the tiara or the other one. Okay? Ravashi Matzni Lekula. Ravashi taught this Lekula, the Machloket, between Rav and Shmuel in another way, which is more lenient than the first way. The Arukta, if it's talking about Arukta, which is made out of the meshi, out of the silk, everybody agrees that it's going to be permitted. Kipligim, when it's a Machloket, only if it's aniska, only if it's made out of the gold or the silver. More Savar, right? More Savar, Shmuel, sorry, that's Rav, because he said it's Asur. So Rav holds that it's going to be Asur, because maybe you're going to take it off, you're going to show it to everybody. More Savar, Shmuel says, Mandar Kalmepak, who's normal to go out with it? Right? He says, Viklila, Isha Chashuva, an important woman. Isha Chashuva, lo shalfa mechavia, an important woman does not take it off to show it to women. So again, this is a second Braita, which is almost the same as the first Braita, that they, like Rabbi Eliezer, that means Shmuel is like Rabbi Eliezer, according to this one, that whenever it's somebody important, they're not going to take off their jewelry to show it to people because they're so important. So they're not going to do these things. It doesn't make sense. Okay? So Amar le Shmuel, Amar le Rav Shmuel, Baruch Hana Rav Yosef. It says Rav Shmuel Baruch Hana Rav Yosef. Befirush Amarta la Mishne de Rav Klila Shari. He says, I don't understand you. You told us Mefurash that Rav said that the Klila is permitted. So therefore, this has to be like the second Braita of Ravashi. Because the first Braita in Ravashi, it was always a sur. And then in the Aniska, which was made out of the Rukta, right? Shmuel says it was permitted and Rav said it's a sur. So that means according to that, this Kelila, Rav always says it's a sur. But the second Braita of Ravashi, the one Lekula said no. If it was made out of a rukta, everybody agrees that it's mutar. If it was made out of silk. One was a machloket, only if it was made out of silver or gold. So therefore, here, when the Braita comes and says Mefurash in the name of Rav, that Klila was permitted, one case has to be permitted. Okay? Fine. So Amru Lele Rav, they went and they told Rav, Ata Gavra Rabba Aricha Linarda. They came from Eretz Yisrael to the city of Narda, a Tamid Chacham Gadol, right? Bal Guf Kavua, right? So somebody very, very tall from Eretz Yisrael to Narda, a Tamid Chacham, very tall, Umatla, however, though he was Soleha, he was limping, the Darash Klila Shari, and he gave a Darasha, and he said, right, Klila is permitted. So basically they went there, they said, listen, there was a very tall, big Tamid Chacham that came from Eretz Yisrael, and he said that it was permitted. So Amar, he said, Man Gavra Rabba Richa Ditra, who is the one that's tall, right? But he limps. It has to be Levi. Because Levi was from Chochmei Gedolei Yisrael, but he used to limp. Okay? So he came to teach Torah Narda. So it says Shema Mina. So it comes out, right? That we're learning from here. Yeah? So he says Shema Mina, we learn from here. Nach Nafshed de Rabbi Yafes. Rabbi Yafes actually passed away. In Eretz Yisrael, V'yativ Rav Chanina Bereisha. And Rav Chanina, right, became the Rosh Yeshiva. V'lo aveleinish leLevi lemitav gabeh. So nobody was by Levi that could be like him by Chavruta. Ekati lahacha. And that's why he came over here, right? So here, just to give you a background, because if not, you know what's going on over here. So it says, when Rebbe passed away, all Chochmei Yisrael came to him, and they put in front of him Rabbi Gamliel, his son, the Bechor, to a Nasi. And Rabbi Shimon Beno, his Sheni, the second son, as the Chacham, as the Beti. And Rabbi Chanina Bar Chama to the Rosh Yeshiva. So imagine, so that means they split it up into three different, when Rabbi Yehuda Nasi passed away, they split it up his position to three different parts. They put his son, the Bechor Rabbi Gamliel, the Nasi, right, the prince of Am Yisrael, Rabbi Shimon, his son of Rebbe, to the Av Beti, and Rabbi Chanina Bar Chama to the Rosh Yeshiva. The Gemara says, Rabbi Chanina did not want to accept the minui because of the kavod of Rabbi Yafes, right, that he was greater than him, 2.5 years. So therefore, Rabbi Yafes became the Rosh Yeshiva. Nevertheless, Rabbi Chanina did not want to be under Rabbi Yafes, so he gave him the kavod that he became the Rosh Yeshiva, but he didn't want to, right? He didn't want to become under him. Because the minhag was that everyone that was there, even if they were greater than him, they used to give the Rosh Yeshiva, like Talmidim, to the students. So Rabbi Chanina did not want to become like a student to Rabbi Yafes. So therefore, because he was greater than him, right? So what happens? So therefore, he used to learn Torah outside, right? And in order that a person shouldn't be a gadol outside by himself, so Levi used to go and learn with him outside. Okay, what happened? Rabbi Yafes passed away. Now that Rabbi Yafes passed away, Rabbi Chanina became the Rosh Yeshiva. So it comes out that now Levi stayed with a chavruta outside. So because he stayed with a chavruta, he went down to Bavel. Okay? Very interesting, the Torah politics in the olden days. Okay? Fine. So says the Gemara, V'dilma nach nafshe Rabbi Chanina. Says, one second, maybe the opposite. Maybe Rabbi Chanina passed away. But Rabbi Yafes, Kidekai Kai, and Rabbi Yafes was still alive. Meaning that, why did you say that Rabbi Yafes passed away, Rabbi Chanina became Rosh Yeshiva, so he went on the inside, and Levi stayed on the outside? Maybe the opposite. Maybe Rabbi Yafes is still there. Rabbi Chanina passed away, right? And then Levi had no chavruta. And he came here. So it says the Gemara, Imita the Rabbi Chanina shachiv, Levi the Rabbi Yafes mikav kaifadeh. It says no. If Rabbi Chanina would have passed away, Levi would have came into the Beit HaMidrash and learned by Rabbi Yafes. Okay? That means he wouldn't have left Eretz Yisrael, he would have stayed in Eretz Yisrael learning over there. So it says, Imita the Rabbi Chanina shachiv, Levi, okay, so Levi the Rabbi Yafes, fine, the two and furthermore, the Rabbi Chanina lo sagi de lo malich. It was barur, right, to Rav, that it's impossible that Rabbi Chanina Cohen, right, would not be the one, the Rosh Yeshiva and Sel. The way, right, the Chihava Kanaichi Nafshe de Rebbe was when Rebbe passed away. Yeah, Amar, he went and he said, Chanina be Rabbi Chama yativ berosh. Right, Chanina be Rabbi Chama would be the Rosh Yeshiva. Okay, so now he didn't accept it and he gave it to Rabbi Yafes because he was older. Uchtiv bil b'tzadikim, and it's written by tzadikim, B'tigzar Omer, Yakum lach, ve'al derachecha nagaor. What does that mean? That whatever they make a decree happens. So therefore, for sure, Rabbi Chanina had to become the Rosh Yeshiva. But the fact that it came out of the words of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, that Rabbi Chanina is going to be the Rosh, for sure he became the Rosh. So it's impossible that he forwent, right? He gave up his position, he gave it to Rabbi Yafes because of Kavod, and then afterwards he didn't get it himself. It's impossible. For sure he had to get it. So for sure Rabbi Yafes passed away, and Rabbi Chanina got it. Okay? Makes sense, no? Until here we're clear?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone with me?
Yes.
Very good. Okay. So Darash Levi ben Arda. So Levi comes and he expounds in Arda, Klila Share. He says that Klila is going to be permitted to go with it on Shabbat. So Nafi Kasimar Baklile Mikule Narda. So because of that, all of a sudden on Shabbat, they found 24 Kililot on Shabbat. Imagine, he went, he said it's permitted, boom, 24 of them were all over the place. Right? There was tons of them. Okay? So, Darash Rabba Baravua Mechuza. Rabba Baravua came and he was Doresh Mechuza. Klila Share. And Avek Tamnestre Klil Mechuza by Mechada Mevua. He said 18 Kililot came out from one Mavui in the city. There was 18 already coming out. Because the second they permitted it, boom, one after another. Everyone, it went on fire. Like, they were all there. Okay? Imagine what happened to the stalks of the Kalila. Yeah, the second the rabbis permitted, woo, it just jumps. Okay? Fine. I'm going to view them as Shmuel. Says of Yudam Shmuel, Kamra Shari. You're allowed to go out on Shabbat with an avnet, with a belt, which is very, very nice, which is called the kamra. Let's see if it's written. Here. This is the kamra. It's like a belt, type of a belt. So the first one, some people used to make it out of gold, and some people used to make it out of with golden stones and things like that on it. So that was the second one. So the first one was just plain gold. Another one. So you're allowed to go out with it on Shabbat. Ikadami, there are those that say, de arukta, right? That it's only if it's going to be made out of again, the same thing, like the silk or whatever it is, and then you have the gold on top of it, the gold stones. Amar of Safra, and says of Safra, meaning the hava talit muzevet, just like a talit, right, that has gold on it. Okay, so here, first of all, it says one of the reasons why it's going to be permitted is because the person will never take off his belt in the Reshut Rabim, because if not, his pants will fall off. So therefore, we're not going to suspect you're going to take it off. Okay? So that was the first Lishna. So again, one more time. Rav Yudah, the name of Shmuel, says that kamra, that the belt is going to be permitted. Ikadam, some people say that rukta, that that's going to be permitted in Rav Safra. Why? Just like a talit muzevet, just like a talit which has also this gold or whatever it is. Ikadam, and some people say no. Daniska, we're talking about plain gold. Just like the Havnet of Melachim. Why? Because all of Israel are considered Bnei Melachim, and therefore they're allowed to put this type of a belt on. Okay? So Amar le Ravina Ravashi, says Ravina to Ravashi, Kamra Yilave Hemyana Mai. Are you allowed to put on this belt, which is the kamra, on top of your regular belt? Which means, can you put a belt on top of another belt? Is that considered a masa? Or is that considered a tachshit? Okay? Amalei, he told him, Trehem Yaneka Marta? What are you asking? On two belts? Right? For sure that's a sur. Okay? And therefore it's not permitted. So here it says it's only Nisum Rabbanan. Because Bemet it's not considered a masa. But they prohibited it because it looks like a masa. And some people say that it's actually permitted. Right? You're allowed to put them two clothing, one on top of the other. Look in Shulchan Aruch Siman Shin Aleph Lamed Vav. That it's actually Machlokim Maram Ramah. By the way, you should know, why did I look into this? I want you guys to tell me, why is it so important to look at the footnotes here?
Because on Shabbat we are allowed to have the belt with the keys.
Very good. Chazak Baruch. Yeah, you're on fire. You're on pole, Mesod. You're on fire. Right? Why? That's why, because
yes.
that's a machloket between Maran and the Ramah. Right? So we're actually going to see. I still remember until today, if I remember, I think it was Menaim used to always say that Shita Maran is that it's a sur. So a belt on top of another belt is a sur. So therefore, if you have a belt and then you put on this belt for the keys, it should be a sur according to Maran. Because that's what the Gemara just asked. The Gemara says, did you say you're allowed to wear two belts? It should be a sur. But if you're going to learn that it's for sure that it's permitted, so no problem. Now, even if you do say it's prohibited, it's only Yisur de Rabbanan. So here, especially in Miami, right, you could still be Mekel. The reason why I say Miami is because you don't have a Reshut Rabim Doraita. Meaning it's not like New York that you could have 600,000 people in certain places. So you don't have that here. So since you don't have the Reshut Rabim Doraita, for us, for sure, you have much more to be lenient. But the question is, even if you did have a Reshut Rabim Gamur, is that considered caring or not caring? So remind me, Bli Nether, because I think it's very important that we should actually go through this halakha. I think it's actually beautiful. Okay? Fine. Next. Amr Ravashi. Ravashi says, Hayra Suka. This is a chagor rachav, which is made out of an arig. Shederech likol savir guf. Does it say? Rasuka. So it says, Yi'itle mafilichayata, right? So then it's going to be permitted. And if not, it's going to be a sur. So this is what it is. So if it has those like knots or like those, like the strings, it's going to be permitted. And if it's not, then it's going to be a sur. See, it says here, Risuka and mafilichayata. Okay? So it says, a woman is not allowed to go out with a katla. Remember, the katla was the neck. How do you call it? The choker, right? The choker. My katla. What is katla? Inakta pare. It's a sinara dur mishubatz bezahav, which is basically it's made out of gold, which is going down. Here it is. This one. It's a choker with like a sinar coming down, like the bib coming down. Okay? So it says over here, right? Next, the two dots, nizamim. She's not allowed to go with the nose rings. Then nizmea af. We're talking about nizmea af. That means in the ears they're allowed to, but in the nose, no. I guess it was nice once upon a time to have nose rings. Okay. Velo betabat shen alei chotam. They're also not allowed to go with a tabat that has a chotam, that has a signature ring. Why? Because maybe they're going to come and show it to their friends if it has this, nice imprints or whatever. So it says hayesh alei chotam. And if it does have a chotam, she's going to be chayav korban chatat. Alma lav tachshitu. So you see that these types of rings are not considered a tachshit. Okay. Or minhu, we have a contradiction. Tachshite nashim tmeim, right? The tachshite nashim are considered tameh. Velu and tachshite nashim, these are tachshite nashim which are considered tameh. So it says over here katlaot, which is again the katla, which is basically again the chokers. Nizamim, the earrings. Tabaot on their fingers, right? Rings on the fingers. The tabat, and this tabat, whether it has a chotam or doesn't have a chotam. It is me'af, and also it's me'af. So you see that it is considered a tachshit. So it's considered a tachshit. Why is it going to be a sur? So answers the Gemara. Rabbi Zera says, Rabbi Zera like a question. Hadr Nechemia Hadr Rabbanan. Our Mishnah that is saying that a tabat that has a chotam is not considered a tachshit, and therefore she's chayavet korban, is like Rabbi Nechemia, that he holds that the purpose of the tabat is the chotam, and therefore it's not a tachshit because it's not the main purpose. The main purpose is the seal that you use to sign. So therefore, that's why it's going to be chayav, because it's not really a tachshit. According to the Rabbanan, it is considered a tachshit. The Tanya, as we learned in a Braita, he shel mateche v'chotama shel nog. What happens if the actual tabat is made out of metal, but the chotam, the top part, the signature part, is made out of like the tree almog. You remember, Binyamin, we had a question about this last time. Like, usually almog is made out of wood, so we didn't really understand what does this mean. But okay. But it says tamiyah. It's going to be tamiyah. Okay, why? Because it's mikabel tuma. Because the tabat is the ikar, and it's made out of matechet. Okay? However, though, if the ring is made out of etz, almog, and the chotam is made out of matechet, it's tahor. Why? Because it's on mikabel tuma, the etz. Right? Pshute kli etz. Rav Nechemia metameh. Rav Nechemia says it's going to be metameh. Rav Nechemia omer betabat alach chotma. You always go after the ikar. The ikar is a chotam. So that's shitat Rav Nechemia. So there's a proof that we just mentioned before. Right? Be'ol, and when we're talking about the ol, which they put on the tzavar be'emot, halach achar simlonav. We're going to go after the simlonav. What is the simlonav? It's here. This is the ol of the be'emah. The yoke. You remember they used to put this on the small animals for the yokes? So it says here we go after simlonav. These are the simlonav. This is the two parts which are coming down. These are simlonav. Okay? What does that mean? The yetidot, the pegs that are coming down, that's what, if it's made out of metal, so then it's like a kli matechet and mekabel tuma. If it's made out of etz, so it's like pshute kli etz, and it's not mekabel tuma. And then it continues with the kolav. Basically, we're going after different types of clothing or different types of parts. What exactly are you doing or not? Okay, there's mekabel tuma or not mekabel tuma.